Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Hello, am I live now? Hello. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. This is a live session of the course, NPTEL course called Mathematics for Economics Part 1. So this course is generally meant for students who are enrolled in undergraduate programs, and this is an undergraduate level course. So this course is being offered on behalf of NPTEL, and let me introduce myself. I'm Devarshi Das, teach economics at the Indian Institute of Technology, Guwahati. So being an economics teacher, so I thought that it might be interesting for other students from other branches to have a sort of introduction of what economics is about. So this course is generally meant for students who have some background in economics. In mathematics. So so if you have had mathematics in your class 2 level, maybe you are an engineering student in some institute, and you had definitely in that case background in mathematics, and not necessarily engineering student, could be a student of any other discipline also. For example, you could be a student in economics honors course in a university. Right. So generally in the better universities of India, if you want to get admitted in a economics honors course, then it is required that you have mathematics in your class 2 level. So so if you have had some background in economics, then this course can give you a nice foray into the different applications of mathematics. So if you had an background in mathematics, then this course is going to give you some idea of how mathematics can be applied to understand different economic problems. So that was the main purpose of this course. This is a course with some credit, and basically it starts from July, and I think the final exam is going to be held in the first week of November. So the course is going to end in October, but the final exam is going to be in November, first week of November, I guess. Right. So we already had one live session, I think some time back, where we covered, I guess, the first 7 weeks. Right. First 7 weeks, whatever the material was there, I welcomed questions and queries from that part in the first live session we had some time back. This is our second live session, and I invite your queries regarding the 8th week. Right, 8th week means we have in total 12 weeks in this course. So 7 weeks have been covered in the first live session. This is for the 8th week, right? So that is the purpose of this live session. Let me check if I have some questions on the, if some students have sent some questions. No, I don't find any questions that you have already sent. Yeah. What about YouTube? Some of you are joining us on YouTube. Let me check whether I have got some comments or questions on YouTube. Okay, ABCD has sent one question. Dear sir, please explain question number 7 of assignment. Which assignment is this? Because I cannot read the end of the line. There's a problem with this YouTube interface. I cannot read the entire last line. Can you specify which assignment are you talking about? Question number 7 you said, but which week assignment? Seventh week or 8th week? Assignment 7. Okay. Okay. Assignment 7, question 7. Right. That is what you are asking. But yeah, but that means assignment of week 7. I think till yes, 7th week. Till the 7th week, I had already covered in the last live session. That was till the 7th week. This is meant for the 8th week. Nevertheless, let me see what was the question 7 of week 7. Okay, so if I'm not wrong, this was the question. A man lives for periods. Let me. No, I cannot share the screen with you because some confidential information is already there in the document that I have. So I'll just read out the question, okay, and then try to see whether I can answer your. I can answer your query. So this question is this: a man lives for periods 1 and 2. His incomes and consumptions are given by Y1, Y2, and C1 and C2 during these 2 periods respectively. His utility function, which he wants to maximize, is given by this. U of C1, C2 is equal to log of C1 plus 1 divided by 1 plus delta log of C2. He can borrow and lend at the market in the market at X rate of interest. This is the description. And what is the question? Question is this: his budget constant. What is his budget constant? Right? And there are 4 options. Since all questions are MCQ, so there are 4 options. You have to give the right answer. What is his budget constant? Budget constant you have to answer. So that was, I think, the question. ABCD, can you confirm whether that is exactly the question that you are you want to ask? Can you please confirm? I meant the solution. Yeah, I mean, that is the question, how to solve. Okay. Yeah, so the question is that one, right? Okay. I guess that is the question. Now, this has been covered in the lecture itself. If you had paid attention to the lecture, I'll just share with you the slides which I used, right, in the lectures, and I'll take you to exactly to that question. It is actually part of the lectures itself. Let me find out where I put that particular slide, and I can show you directly from the slide. Okay. So this is basically a question of, this is where I was discussing the optimization, single variable optimization. You want to maximize your utility function, right? And you have a budget constant. right? That, and how do you do that? I think this was covered in. Let me try to find out where. Yeah, yeah. I'm going to show you the exact slide where which was, I think, showed in the lectures. Let me show. Let me share you this. Share the screen with you. Let me share the screen. Uh, yeah, I think you can see the screen. I mean the PowerPoint on your screen. This is the question. This is the assignment is just asking this, taking this question and asking something from this question. Okay. So a man lives for 2 periods, period 1 and 2. The incomes are Y1 and Y2. He plans to consume C1 and C2 during these 2 periods. His utility function is given by this. U of C1, C2 is equal to log of C1 plus 1 divided by 1 plus alpha log of C2. Okay, there is just one small difference. In the assignment, instead of alpha, I used another notation. I think I used delta. Other than that, it is exactly the same, implying that delta is the rate of discounting. He can borrow and lend at our rate of interest. We can find the man's saving and consumption plan. If the man saves money in period 1, he can consume additionally this in period 2. So C1 is equal to this. So this is what you need to pay attention to, right? This is what you need to pay attention to. So suppose in period 1, he is saving some money, right? So how much money is he saving? Y1 minus C1, because his income is Y1, his consumption is C1. So Y1 minus C1 is the money that he will be saving. Now on that, he will earn some rate of interest. What is the rate of interest? R. Okay, in period 2. So in period 2, and he lives for only 2 periods. So in period 2, what is his total consumption going to be? His total consumption is going to be Y2, which is the income that is earning in period 2, plus the interest income that he earned because he had saved some money. And what is that? That is Y1 minus C1 multiplied by R plus 1. So this actually is the budget constant, right? So that is the answer to the question. Budget constant means what? That what you can consume, right, given your income. Here the trick is that the man is comparing between 2 periods, and in these 2 periods his incomes are Y1 and Y2, and we are denoting his consumption from his income, right? He has to consume from his income, and those incomes are given by C1 and C2. In this case, what is the budget constant? And budget constant is given by this. C2 is equal to Y2 plus Y1 minus C1 multiplied by 1 plus R. Okay, so that is basically the answer. I hope it is clear now. Okay, now let me go to some other question if I have got some other question. Okay, Mohit Verma has asked some question. Let me see. Good afternoon, sir. I don't understand the topic PDV in lecture 14. Okay, again, we are going backwards. Lecture 14 is not coming under week 8, I think. All these questions you are asking, they are all welcome, but they should have been asked in the last live session. Otherwise, things are getting jumbled up. We want to do it in a systematic manner, right? Lecture 14, I don't think it was coming in week 8, which I meant to cover in this session. Okay, that is my problem. So things are getting a little bit jumbled up. Let me, nevertheless, let us try to see if I can, manage this. PDV lecture 14. So, sir, please clarify and tell relation between PDV and compound rate of interest. Okay, Mohit has asked some other question later on. He's saying that log function y is equal to root of x to the power 2x. Find derivative. I do not know which lecture he's talking about. Lecture 1C. Your lecture 1C. What is lecture 1C? I don't understand. But let me go to the PDV. I think that is a more, because this question I do not understand. Week 6, lecture 14. So he's going to back to lecture 14 once again. I don't recall this log. Let me first go one by one. PDV, lecture 14. The relation between PDV and the compound rate of interest. That is, I think, the question. That is very easy. Okay, let me try to see again, going to the slides that I have, if I can bring up the slides and explain this. Let me just try to find the slides. Yeah, let me show you one slide. Present PDV basically means present discounted value. Okay. Let me share this screen with you. Where is it? Here, I think. Yeah, I think you can see the screen here. So here, this is the general formula. Okay. So this idea is that a person is earning some income in future, right? He is earning A1 in the next period and A2 2 periods after the present period. That means, let us say the second period, today is 0, next period is 1, next to next is 2, like that. And this way, there is a stream of income, therefore, A1, A2, etc., up till n periods. So the last period income is AN. Okay. So in this case, how to find the present discounted value of that stream of income? And the PDV is about that. So here PN, which is basically the present discounted value, PN on the left hand side, is equal to A1 divided by 1 plus R. So notice what is going on. Why we are dividing A1 by 1 plus R? Basically because A1 is something you are not earning today. It is something which you are earning in the next period, right? And so what is the value of that A1 from today's point of view? From today's point of view, the value of that A1 is A1 divided by 1 plus R. Why we are dividing by 1 plus R? Because if you keep that money in the bank, A1 divided by 1 plus R in the bank, after one period, how much are you going to get? A1 divided by 1 plus R multiplied by 1 plus R. So 1 plus R, 1 plus R will get cancelled. So that gives you A1, which you are going to get tomorrow, right? So that is the idea of discounting, right? So therefore, if you are getting the income in the next period, we take that income in the next period and divide it by 1 plus R. So therefore, A1 divided by 1 plus R is the PDV of A1. But A1 is not the only income. You are going to get A2 also after 2 periods. And by a similar logic, you have to divide A2 divided by 1 plus r whole square, right? By exactly the same logic. And this way, for the entire stream, the PDV is given by this, as you see on the screen. Okay. And so you can sum it up and write it in a concise manner. So this is given by summation I goes from 1 to n ai divided by 1 plus r to the power I. Right. So this is the general formula. But this is for n periods, and where AIs are all different. But what happens if AIs are all same? Let us suppose all of them are same. So that is basically the case here that we have written below that. And now it becomes easier to sum it up, and the formula is this much, only this one. So this is the PDV, present discounted value, or sometimes also written as present value of n installments of 1 rupee each, where the first payment has to be made 1 year from now, etc., etc. Okay, so this is so let me stop the sharing option. So this is the way in which we can you can use this in various applications. For example, suppose you are doing some investment, right? In some I don't know, maybe you are building a factory, but the factory you are putting some money right now. The income from the factory is going to come to you not today, but in maybe one period after this, 2 periods after this, etc., etc. So you have to compare between the money that you are spending today with the returns that you are going to get in the future. How to do that? Through this PDV, present discounted value. I think that we covered in our course, where we are talking about evaluation of investments. We also said that this can be applied. This can be applied in calculating the this thing EMI also. EMI is similar idea, right? Because there you are going to make the payment in future, but you have got the good today. So value of the good today has to be equal to the payments that you are going to make in future. Both sides must be equal, right? So by using this formula, you can find out the value of A, right? Here, what you need to find out, what is the equal monthly installment, or A, that you can find out through this formula. Okay, Mohit has asked another question. How much is mathematics for economics appropriate for preparing for budget? Because budget tells only future revenue and expenditure. Yeah, that's an interesting question actually, but true, budget is about future. I mean, I am talking about government budget, like the government every year, the central government presents the union budget. I think you are talking about that budget. I am also assuming that you are talking about that budget. But the union government, that is the central government, or even the state governments, when they prepare the budget, they present the budget, that is for only the next financial year. It is not like 5 years after this. Only in the immediate one financial year, what will be the taxes, in which ways the government wants to spend its money, right? For example, MGNREGA or defense spending or infrastructure spending, all these things are basically covered under budget. But whatever it is, it's going to be within 1 year only, right? So you are right that it is about future, but that future is not very far. So they will obviously take into account some element of time there, because when you are talking about PDV, you are talking about time, how to deal with time. Here also time is there, but it's very short. So time will be there, but it will not be as important when you are planning for, let us say, 10 years or 5 years, right? So it's basically a very short period kind of thing. So ABCD has one question, another question, I think. One more question, sir. Is the point of maximization mean where the gap between two functions increases until the point and vice versa for minimization. A gap between two functions. My question is not with regard to one function. I'm asking when there are two functions. But what do you mean by two functions? In this course, we were thinking in terms of this, that there is a producer, let us suppose. Producer, what does he want to do? He wants to maximize something. And what is that something? It could be his profit. That is basically the first assumption we go along with. The producers always try to maximize the profit. Now then we have to answer the question, how much should he produce such that his profit is maximized? So that is a concrete question. But here, notice here, there is just one function, which is profit, right? And secondly, the profit function has to be expressed as a variable of the quantity, that is the output level. So if we can do that, if we can express this profit, which is like the dependent variable, in terms of only one variable, which is the quantity, then we have boiled down his economic problem into a mathematical problem, and then we apply the principles of maximization or optimization, right? Now, when you are saying that two functions are maximized, then I'm finding it difficult to understand in what way can that be applied in economic problems, right? So I'm not able to understand the question itself. Okay, any other queries or questions? Mohit had the other thing Mohit had asked, log function y is equal to root of x to the power 2x. Find derivative. My answer is different from your lecture, tutorial 1C, lecture 19. Okay. And then he's saying week 6, lecture 14. What I'll do is that I'll look up in the YouTube. I'm not able to understand exactly which question are you talking about. Asking in the context of that present value. Yeah, he's asking in the question of in the context of that tutorial, I think. Right? Sorry, not tutorial, the assignment, where y1, y2 were the y1, y2 were the income levels, C1, C2 were the consumption levels. I think he's asking about that. Otherwise, CI was not entering into PDV calculations as far as I remember. Let me check once again if CI was there in the PDV. No, CI, the notations that were used in PDV were AI. AI means the numerator, and R was coming in the denominator, which was the rate of interest. AI denoted the income in future. Where is CI coming from? I don't understand. CI stands for compound interest rate. Yeah, I mean, I just showed to you, right? Let me show it once again. CI generally is not used for rate of interest, but I was using R as the rate of interest. Well, let me show it to you once again by sharing the screen. Okay. So what you have is R. So forget about CI. CI is generally not used for rate of interest. Okay. So what you have is R, which is coming in the denominator in the PTV. So here, if you look at the expression, where is R, the compound rate of interest? It is in the denominator. And why is it coming in the denominator? You again have to remember, just think about one period. So I'm saying that A1 is the income you're going to get tomorrow in the next period. Okay, tomorrow, I mean, let us say next year. A1 is the income you're going to get in the next year. What is the value of that income from today's point of view? That is the question, right? And whatever that value is, that is the PDV, present discounted value. And how we are calculating it? We are taking A1 and dividing it by 1 plus R. Okay. So 1 plus R is coming in the denominator. Why is it coming in the denominator? Because if you take A1 divided by 1 plus R, let us suppose you have that today itself, and you put it in the bank, right? So in the next year, how much money are you going to get out of that? You are going to get A1 divided by 1 plus R multiplied by 1 plus R, because the principal will be there. On that, the interest will be earned. What is the amount of interest? A1 divided by 1 plus R multiplied by R. So if you add the principal and the interest, what you are going to get? A1 divided by 1 plus R and multiplied by 1 plus R. So ultimately you are going to get A1, right? So that is what you are supposed to get in the next period. So that basically proves that A1 divided by 1 plus R is same as A1 that you are going to get in the next year. So therefore, the present value of A1, which you are going to get in the next year, is A1 divided by 1 plus R. So therefore, the relationship between the PDV and R is always negative, because R is coming in the denominator. That means if R rises, PDV falls. I hope that is clear. Okay, if there are no more questions, then I think we can wrap it up for today. And Mohit, as I mentioned, that log thing, the derivative thing that you mentioned, which I did not understand, which exactly is the problem that you are talking about. So in the next live session, please give me the link of that particular YouTube video and the time at which that problem was discussed. Okay. Okay, I think we can wrap up this particular session. Is anybody there from
the Excel? So the Excel sheet that has been posted for the doubts, so it is closed to editor.
It is close to what?
Editor. So we cannot write our doubts there. It asks for access.
Oh, acha. That's why I found the Excel to be completely empty.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'll ask the CET people to make it accessible so that people who are enrolled in this course can write their questions there. Okay.
And so can we ask also the doubts like related to probability, which are not in course?
No, obviously not. Obviously not. I mean, I did not teach anything about probability in this course.
Okay.
Please, CET, please take note. CET people are also there. They are organizing the entire event. That Excel sheet, the students are not able to access that. Please make it accessible for the next live session. Okay. Can you close this? Okay, let me then wrap it up, and I'll see you in the next live session. Thank you.